Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's continue with our SQL series preparation. So today we'll be solving one question based on the CTE, that is nothing but the common table expressions, which are being mostly used when you are writing the SQL queries for any organization or for any interview related queries also. So today we have a very interesting question. The question basically says we need to segregate the employees with the sales growth from January to March using a CTE. So if we carefully observe the input table, we have the employee ID, we have the employee name, sales month, and the sales amount. And the output is basically the employee ID, employee name, the January sales, the March sales, and the sales growth. This is what we need to calculate. Okay, so we will be only segregating those records in which the March sales should be greater than the January sales. This is what we need to part, and based on that we will to find the sales growth, that is 4000 minus 3000 is 1000. This is the reference value we need to calculate. Perfect. Now let's jump to our notepad where I have already written this particular script, and this same script you can get it from the description box and can practice along with me. Perfect. Now, first of all, what are the records we need? We need the employee ID, we need the employee name, and also we need the maximum value of the sales which is in January. So let's write the query. So select, we need the employee ID, comma, we need the employee name, comma, then we have to use case when the sale month, control C, control V, sale month is equal to January, because we'll be the comparing it with January and March, so that's why first is January, then sale amount, then we will end and as, let's give it as January sales, so January sales, comma, similarly we have to find for the March sales as well, so you can simply copy everything from the above, paste it down, and instead of the January just write March, and then the sale amount, it should be March sales. Now from which one? From the table name. The table name is nothing but the employee sales, and here then we need to group by the employee ID and employee name. Okay, but there is a catch here, that if we are using group by here, then there must be some aggregated functions used in the above select statements, but we do not have any aggregated statement. So in that case we can simply use max or mean, anything in this particular one, and inside the case before the case statement you can use any max or mean functions or any average functions which should be an aggregated functions, and you can simply close the braces accordingly. Perfect. Since we have already used the aggregated functions, we can group by the non-aggregated function columns, that is the employee ID and the employee name. Okay. So once we have written this particular code, now we have to put everything inside the CTE. So with CTE as this, now we have to select the employee ID. We have to select the employee name. Control C, Control V. Also, we need to select the January sales, comma January sales, comma we also need the March sales, which we have already calculated from the above, and now we have to find the March sales minus the January sales amount, that is the difference amount we need to find, and we will be alias it as sales growth or whatever you can find suitable, you can give that name from the table. Now this time the table name is nothing but the CTE table, so from CTE, and we have to put a where condition is that where January sales, sorry, where March sales should be greater than the January sales. Perfect. This will be our final query. Okay, now let's copy this, go to our editor, let's paste this code here and let's run it. Okay, it's saying you have an error in the SQL syntax. Okay, okay, we have missed one comma here, that's why. Let's run it once again. So this time we have got 2 and 3 are the records. Let's see why we got 2 and 3 and why not 1. If we can carefully observe that for allies January the value is 5700, for allies March it is 5500. So 5500 is not greater than 5700. That's why for the first record, that is for the employee ID 1, we didn't get. Now let's jump to the employee ID 2. 7200 is the value in March, which is greater than 7000 in January. That's why we got Bob as the value, and the difference between them is 200. That is 7200 minus 7000 is 200. This is what the value we have got. Let's go to the Charlie part. So for Charlie, in the March 4000 is the value, and in the January 3000 is the value. So clearly for 4000 is greater than 3000. That's why we got the third record, that is employee ID 3 with Charlie, and the difference between them is 4000 minus 3000 is 1000. And this is how you can actually solve this question. It's a pretty good question in terms of interview preparation, which tests your case when test statement skills and your aggregation, also along with the CTE operations. And make sure to practice these kind of questions. I will come up with more such videos in the near future. Till then, keep loving, keep coding, and subscribe the channel to get the latest update, guys. Thank you, guys.